The stunning, rich campus beauty suddenly threw her arms around me. Her outrageous behavior startled me. "What are you doing?" she said, completely unfazed. "Hubby, hug me. That face, that body. Who could resist?" At the freshman military training closing party, my classmates were gathered beneath the stage. The brain tumor in my head was throbbing faintly. I stepped out for air and to take my medicine. Then, suddenly, someone hugged me from behind, soft and warm. Still, I trembled in fright. The second I turned around, I froze. It was the freshman campus beauty, clutching me like she was love-struck. A heady wave of perfume hit me. Her lips even moved toward mine for a kiss. "Do we know each other?" "What are you doing?" she replied dreamily. "Hubby, hug me, and kiss me too." I was speechless. Wasn't she that gorgeous? Icy rich campus beauty? I rubbed my eyes. Had I seen wrong? I quickly pushed her away. Then I felt her forehead. No fever. Her brain hadn't been fried by a fever, had it? "Are you Qinghan?" Her tall, seductive figure was unbelievably tempting, but she still said nothing. She only gazed at me with those soulful, watery eyes. She lifted her face, her fiery red lips moving closer. Even if this woman who looked like Qinghan was utterly alluring, I couldn't do this. I covered her face with my large hand. Yet she tilted her head and said, "Hubby." Her teasing left me both angry and excited. "Hey, what happened to your icy campus beauty act? Don't you want it anymore?" My angry hand was already raised, but when I saw her lovely face, I couldn't bring myself to hit her. Then I thought of her rumored boyfriend, my sworn enemy, Qinghan. Our faces were practically pressed together for 5 seconds. "Qinghan, look carefully. Do we know each other?" She paused, then smiled sweetly. She was breathtaking. My adrenaline shot through the roof. She had a great reputation. How could she act so love-struck? While I stood there stunned, as if possessed, she kissed my cheek. I froze. I stood ramrod straight. Boiling blood raced through my body. Rustling footsteps drew closer. The passing boys stared in disbelief. My class rival, Qinghan, was among them. Everyone at school knew he was relentlessly pursuing Qinghan, while I was only a timid, cowardly secret admirer. He stormed over in a rage. He tried to slap me, but I blocked it. Pointing at me with bloodshot eyes, he shouted, "How dare you try to rape Qinghan? Are you blind?" I turned and shot him an angry glare. Qinghan is the one hugging me. His mouth formed an O as he tried to speak. Then Qinghan peeked out from behind me. As Qinghan stared in utter disbelief, Qinghan gazed lovingly at me. "Hubby, kiss me." Qinghan's face went black as charcoal. I was dumbfounded. Qinghan tried to pry her hands off me and take her away. Qinghan angrily threw his hand aside. Then she hugged me tightly. "Get lost. I only want my hubby." Qinghan's sudden actions left me completely at a loss. All I could do was quietly head toward the women's dorm. Qinghan followed close behind. "Qinghan, what are you doing? Once the gossip breaks tomorrow, you'll regret it bitterly." I was utterly helpless, so I sat outside the women's dorm. Passers-by pointed and whispered about us. I took her phone. I wanted to call her family, but her phone was dead. As I went to unlock my own phone, she suddenly said something that shocked me to the core. 060501. Qinghan, how do you know my phone password? I was stunned. I could practically smell Qinghan's jealousy beside me. As shock and anger rose in me, a familiar voice rang out. It drained the color from my face. Our homeroom teacher, my class's homeroom teacher, Mr. Wang. He was Qinghan's teacher too. Qinghan peeked out and said cheerfully, "Mr. Wang." His mouth parted slightly. His gaze swept over us. He smiled in confusion. You two really kept this well hidden." I frowned. Shaking my head desperately, I grimaced. "Mr. Wang, please don't misunderstand. It is absolutely not what you think." Seeing Qinghan standing there foolishly stunned, he said sternly, "Qinghan, just how obvious a third wheel are you?" Humiliated, Qinghan ran off with his tail between his legs. After we exchanged smiles for barely half a second, I realized she was still holding me tight. Feeling sweet and miserable at once, I sighed helplessly. She clung to me so much I had no choice. I had to call my roommate. I called my roommate and persuaded Qinghan to join us at a bar. I thought that after she had some fun, she would obediently return to her dorm. But I was wrong. Drunk, she was even harder to handle. In the end, she got drunk. She demanded that I take her home. I was puzzled. Wasn't she from out of town? But I couldn't worry about that then. After I helped her home, just as I closed the door, Qinghan began coughing nonstop. "Hubby, don't go." I couldn't bear to leave. She seemed sick. When I felt her forehead, it was burning. Soft-hearted, I could only rush to the pharmacy for medicine. I cooled her with wet towels and fed her medicine. Half conscious, she kept murmuring the same words. "Hubby is so good to me." It was so sweet that I wanted to stroke her hair. Her faint voice faded away. Her big, doll-like eyes finally closed. That porcelain doll face and her slender, graceful body were beautiful and utterly captivating. Today, I felt as though I had won the lottery. My smile curved sweetly like a crescent moon. As I was about to leave, I noticed a closed picture frame on her bedside table. Curiously, I picked it up and looked. The smile vanished from my face at once. She had a boyfriend. Still, This encounter was a reward for a month of heart-fluttering crushes. As I prepared to leave with mixed feelings, a WeChat video call came through on her phone. It was her roommates, so her dorm mates would not worry. And because I was afraid they would see me, I quickly covered the camera. Qinghan, you have gone viral. Where the hell have you been? TikTok is full of videos of you and Chuan acting lovey-dovey. I paused in shock. Say something, viral sensation. I stammered. Qinghan drank too much. She has a fever and is coughing too. So I brought her home. I had to be careful. She has a boyfriend. If people got the wrong idea, I could never clear my name. I was deeply uneasy, just as I wanted to ask her roommates to come care for her. The girls on the call all started shouting, "Brother, our dear brother. Hey, do not call me that." They ignored me, shouting dramatically through their tears. "Our dear brother, our Qinghan is finally off the market." My mind was a mess. I am not her boyfriend. The other end fell silent. I thought they had finally calmed down. Then they yelled, "Are you a girl?" "No, I'm a man." They had completely confused me. No way. Doesn't my voice sound male? Weren't you to outside the women's dorm tonight? So what? They started teasing me again. "Our dear brother." After that farce ended, I learned our videos have blown up on TikTok. By now, everyone at school knew. And the internet had a new Qinghan meme. "Hubby, love me. Don't leave." For the past month, everyone knew she was single. So, where did this husband come from? I looked at the closed picture frame on the table. Could it be that guy? Those troublemaking girls actually said, "A drunk, sick girl is especially vulnerable." They insisted I stay with her. In the morning, I dozed against my chair. Then I suddenly heard Qinghan scream. I jumped up instinctively. "Qinghan, what's wrong?" Then I looked down and my eyes widened. My jaw hung open. Qinghan's clothes and underwear were scattered across the floor. My mind went blank. I hadn't done anything. Panicked, I didn't dare look up. As I turned to leave the room, a stern voice rang out. "Stop right there." When I looked up, Qinghan stood there wrapped in a towel, her collarbones bare. I completely lost my composure. "I'll get going." As I rushed for the door, Qinghan, wrapped in a towel, blocked the doorway. She looked utterly seductive, wrapped in nothing but a towel. I didn't dare touch her. Her gaze was seductive, dimples appearing in her cheeks. She pressed her curvy figure close to mine, trying to run. I scratched my head, almost in tears. Qinghan raised one long leg to block the door. Her figure was far too tempting. I was scared and thrilled at once. "Chuan, you took off my clothes too." She slowly lowered her leg, revealing a dazzling smile. "Online and at school, everyone is saying I'm your girlfriend. Oh, now that you've had your way, you won't take responsibility." "Qinghan, I really didn't do anything." I couldn't defend myself. Qinghan gave a cold snort. "Oh, really? Or do you still not remember?" In desperation, I stamped my foot and threw caution to the wind. "Then, what do you want?" As soon as I said it, she looked down to adjust her towel. I took off running. She gave me a seductive smile. "Hubby, love me. Don't leave." Damn, this sudden, sweet feeling was actually nice. But when I thought of the picture framed by her bed, my heart clenched. The moment I got back to my dorm, she immediately sent me a WeChat message. "You really won't take responsibility." I stared at the words on WeChat. I typed, deleted, then typed again. In the end, I forced out a few words. "Last night was completely a misunderstanding. Chuan, you actually forgot." "What about the rumors online and at school?" Even through the screen, I could see Qinghan's furious face. Before I could move my hand from the screen, another message arrived. "You only have two choices now. First, take responsibility from me. Second, get rid of the negative publicity." I was angry and frustrated. I hadn't done a thing. Worst case, I'll post something on TikTok. But all my dorm sisters say you're my hubby. No. I'll explain it to them in person. On Saturday, Qinghan invited me out. She wanted me to explain everything to her dorm mates. As I left the men's dorm, I ran into someone. I froze on the spot. Wasn't he the guy in Qinghan's photo? We didn't know each other. We nodded at each other, and I started to leave. Chuan, he stared at me. He looked deeply troubled. "Are you and Qinghan together?" I was stunned and confused. "Wasn't he Qinghan's boyfriend?" he asked, somewhat puzzled. "Aren't you?" My heart surged with excitement. "So he must be her ex-boyfriend?" I cautiously asked back. "Who told you that?" He opened TikTok and scrolled through a few videos. They were all videos of Qinghan and me hugging. I was too embarrassed to say a word. He silently walked away. Saturday was bright and sunny, just like my mood. As I stepped out of the dorm, I saw my classmate, Ryan, dressed casually. She wanted to join the gathering too. When we reached the cherry orchard at the countryside restaurant, I looked around and felt strangely disappointed. Qinghan wasn't there. Ryan, and I sat down. When I looked up at the sound, a smile instantly spread across my face. Qinghan wore a dress, her skin fair and her features beautiful. She looked like an angel descended from a land of snow. She strolled toward us from afar, carrying a basket of strawberries. She always stood out in a crowd. Those girls started going wild. The moment they saw me, they started calling me their dear brother. It made me a little embarrassed. Qinghan watched me from afar. Her smile was sweeter than honey. Nearby, Qinghan glared at me as if I had murdered his father. Our gossip-loving homeroom teacher coughed a few times. A third wheel is supposed to help the couple shine. Quite a crowd had shown up. Why did my face burn with embarrassment? Her roommates loved stirring things up. Whenever they saw me, they kept calling me dear brother. Dear brother, come sit with our Qinghan. The girls pushed me over beside Qinghan. I leaned against a cherry tree. I leaned close to her. Then I'll explain. She first cast a sit-along glance at the person beside me. Her smile vanished, replaced by a dark scowl. What is it? You brought a girl with you. Is that because you don't want to take responsibility? The moment she said it, she realized she had misspoken. She instinctively covered her mouth. Then all her dorm mates crowded around her. The girls all started talking over one another. Luckily, Qinghan kept her mouth shut. Otherwise, who knew what kind of scandal would erupt? Only then did I remember the quiet Liu Ryan. Did Qinghan really have such sharp eyes? I gave Liu Ryan an awkward smile. She only nodded slightly. After she noticed I had brought Liu Ryan, Qinghan wore a dark expression the entire time. She picked some cherries from the tree, intending to give them to me. But after shooting Liu Ryan a hostile glare, she handed them to her roommate instead. I climbed the tree and ate a few. Hanging upside down, I poked her with my finger. Her skin was flawless and delicate. Qinghan pouted, clearly still sulking. Are you done yet? Come on, lady. I don't want to be anyone's patsy. I'm here to clear things up. But judging by her expression, she'd forgotten why we were here. I jumped down from the tree and murmured, I'm going to explain. She turned her head away. Do whatever you want. Hey, look at that attitude. Like I was only doing this for myself. Honestly, I still felt conflicted. If what happened last night hadn't happened, I might not have wanted to explain. Then her gossiping roommates started heckling us. What are the lovebirds whispering about? Any good news to share with us? Qinghan shot them an angry glare. Her roommates immediately fell silent. I climbed up the cherry tree and cleared my throat. Everyone, quiet down. I have something to say. Everyone turned to look at me. Give him a round of applause. Our dear brother is about to confess to Qinghan. I nearly fell out of the tree when I heard that. Luckily, I grabbed the trunk. Once I recovered, I said, I'm not your dear brother. They were all stunned. Then they exchanged baffled looks. Then someone shouted, not our dear brother? Uncle works too. They left me completely speechless. If they kept this up, I'd end up becoming some kind of master uncle. Sure enough, someone shouted, Grandmaster, how could you heartlessly abandon your wife? Helplessly, I looked at Qinghan, lounging beneath the cherry tree. I couldn't believe she was still able to laugh. How was this clearing up a misunderstanding? It was practically a public trial. A little angry, I glared at her. Her little face reddened as she covered her mouth and laughed. Then she gazed at me dreamily. It made my heart flutter. She was unbelievably hot. I was so captivated by her. I nearly fell from the tree. Luckily, I caught the trunk in time, but my lips lightly brushed across her red ones. It felt like an electric current ran through my whole body. Qinghan hurriedly covered her lips. Two rosy flushes bloomed on her cheeks. Suddenly, Liu Ryan's face darkened. She suddenly let out a loud scream. Her outburst drowned out every other sound. Chuan isn't Qinghan's boyfriend. Everyone was dumbfounded. They stared at Liu Ryan, shocked by her words. I could feel the chill radiating from Qinghan beneath the tree. It was as if the air had frozen solid. Liu Ryan looked at me with dazed eyes. Then she declared, Chuan is my boyfriend. My mind went blank. The scene fell into dead silence. Qinghan's face was grim. Her roommates instantly fell silent. Just when I thought this farce was over, Qinghan suddenly raised her head. Her eyes burned with anger as she looked at me. Is she your girlfriend? How would I know? Just as I was about to speak, Liu Ryan immediately cut me off. I am Chuan's girlfriend. Liu Ryan came over and shoved me. In full view of everyone, I looked into Qinghan's unwilling eyes, then left the orchard with Liu Ryan. After we returned to campus, Liu Ryan nervously wrung her hands and said, I was a little presumptuous. I stayed silent for a long while. She stammered, I saw them giving you a hard time. I only wanted to get you out of it. For some reason, my heart just aches. But Liu Ryan really hadn't done anything wrong. There really was nothing to explain. When I learned the man in the picture frame was Qinghan's ex-boyfriend, I hadn't wanted to explain myself, but I'd made a promise. In the months since school began, she hadn't paid any attention to me at all. It was time for this farce to end. Seeing how troubled Liu Ryan looked, I sighed. It's okay. Before leaving, Liu Ryan also said, they're not good people. They're just using you for their amusement. I didn't see Qinghan for the next week. Not until our political science class, when Liu Ryan and I walked into the classroom together. In the multimedia lecture hall, did I spot Qinghan immediately. I was mesmerized. She truly looked like an ancient princess, noble and elegant. Perhaps I stared for too long, because Liu Ryan followed my gaze curiously. Do you want to go to her? I was deeply conflicted. I didn't even know what I was hoping for. Then Qinghan suddenly appeared beside Qinghan. I had no idea what the two were whispering about. The crowd entering class blocked my view. I guess she had wanted to come find me. Another video of me staring blankly at the campus beauty was posted on TikTok. When class ended, Liu Ryan and I left the classroom together. People at school and online started gossiping again. As I said goodbye to Liu Ryan outside the academic building, a warm bear hug suddenly enveloped me from behind. A faint perfume mingled with a familiar scent. Qinghan. More and more onlookers gathered around us. I frowned. I turned to Qinghan, caught between laughter and tears. She had clearly asked me to explain the misunderstanding. But now, to my surprise, Qinghan just kept staring at me. She said tenderly, "Husband." Her breathtaking face and tall, graceful figure left me at a complete loss. Liu Ryan tried to pull Qinghan away, but Qinghan only clung to me tighter. Liu Ryan used all her strength. Qinghan seemed hurt as Liu Ryan tried to pry her away. Her face twisted in pain, yet she still held on to me desperately. Tears streamed down her cheeks, but she still whispered, "Husband, don't go." My heart aching, I reminded Liu Ryan, "She's just messing around." Liu Ryan, seemingly upset, lowered her eyes. "Liu Ryan, go on ahead. I can handle her." Liu Ryan walked away, then looked back. I smiled and told her I'd take care of it. After Qinghan stood on tiptoe, then saw Liu Ryan had gone far away, she finally loosened her grip and rested her head on my shoulder. Her warm breath brushed against my neck. It stirred something inside me. Then suddenly, my brain tumor pressed against my nerves again. The moment she noticed, she hurriedly let go of me. She took the medicine from my shirt pocket, then opened a bottle of water for me. I looked at the pills she had prepared. They were exactly right. After taking them, I stared at her anxious face. How did she know what medicine I took? Once I felt better, she clung to me again. I wanted to contact her family so they could talk some sense into her, but she refused to give me their number. When I called the girls in her dorm, they wouldn't answer either. "Li Chuan, take me out, or I won't let go." She grinned, baring her teeth. To appease her, we both skipped our afternoon classes. We went from the zoo to the amusement park, then to a bar. After a whole day of running around, I thought she'd finally settle down. But drunk, she stuck to me like glue. "I'm not going back to the dorm. I want to sleep with you." Hearing her drunken words, every hair on my body stood on end. With no other choice, I led her back to that apartment from memory. As I was about to leave, I heard her coughing violently again. Luckily, there was still medicine left in the apartment. As I gave her the medicine, she suddenly grabbed my hand. "Husband, can you stay?" Her tenderness flowed into my heart like a warm current. My heart began pounding, just as I was about to give in. One sentence from her cooled my feelings by half. "You have to take responsibility, okay?" She said it with hazy, drunken eyes. I touched the tumor on my head. I knew I didn't have much time left. I'd better sleep on the couch. But she kept pressing her body against mine. "Husband, come hug me," she murmured dazedly, flashing a bright smile. Then she slowly closed her beautiful eyes. After laying her down, I hurried to the couch to sleep. In the morning, I felt something heavy pressing on me. When I opened my eyes a sliver, I suddenly saw Qinghan lying on top of me. Worse still, her sensual, red lips were pressed to mine. I didn't dare hold her, so I deliberately coughed a few times. But I noticed that after she cracked open her right eye, she quickly closed it again. She was obviously pretending to be asleep. To ease the awkwardness, I said, "Qinghan, why did you come over to the couch?" I toss and turn a lot in my sleep. She abruptly raised her head and saw herself sprawled on top of me. Li Chuan, how could you?" She looked furious. She covered her breast with both hands, pointing at me. Only then did I remember when she stripped naked last time. She had done it all on purpose. I couldn't help smiling. "Li Chuan, you still dare laugh? How is this my fault? Who climbed on top of me? And now you're blaming me." I was getting angry. "Don't you know what you did?" She got up, leaned over the coffee table and sobbed her heart out. "Li Chuan, you have to take responsibility." I was both angry and amused, but after touching the tumor on my head, I still left without hesitation. "Li Chuan, don't run." Qinghan rushed out the door. The next morning, as soon as I came downstairs from my dorm, sure enough, Qinghan was nowhere to be seen. An inexplicable sense of loss grew inside me. After class that afternoon, I passed the women's dorm. A tall, alluring figure came into view. The air carried a faint perfume. Only a few feet separated us across the road. Qinghan stared at me intensely. "Damn it, that human barnacle is back." Sure enough, she came sprinting over. She pressed herself against me and looked up. "Husband, were you mad yesterday?" I frowned. "Do I even have the right to be angry with you?" I instinctively wanted to push her away, but I couldn't bear to. But passing students were filming us for TikTok again. I was genuinely worried. The rumors were getting more outrageous. The more people gathered, the tighter she held me. Qinghan really had no fear of making a scene. Her roommates happened to pass by, but they only smiled and glanced at us. Desperate, I shouted, "Talk some sense into her." They blatantly played dumb. "Haha, we didn't see a thing." Helplessly, I said, "Will one of you please take her away?" They started egging us on. "Haha, we're busy. Looks like it's the full date night routine again." I felt deflated. Then a voice called from behind. Bro, taking our Qinghan for the night. I turned and saw her putting on a pitiful act. Helplessly, I took her out for another wild day. We returned to that apartment. Reeking of alcohol, Qinghan lay sprawled on the couch. I covered her with a blanket. Qinghan, are you really drunk? She slowly cracked open her right eye. When she saw I noticed, she quickly shut it again. If I still couldn't see through her scheme, I'd have to be a complete fool. Sitting beside the couch, I asked, Qinghan, stop pretending. Her eyes remained closed. Two shallow dimples appeared on her breathtaking face. Husband, kiss me. Her tall, graceful body swayed slightly. My throat bobbed. My hand nearly reached for her. I reminded myself not to fall for it, to catch her faking both drunkenness and sleep. I asked Qinghan, who am I? She mumbled, husband. Then I pulled up a photo of Qinghan. Who is this? She peered through a slit in her eyes. I'm drunk. I can't see clearly. Oh. So she was quite good at pretending. If she couldn't see, she could still hear. Then I played a video from my elementary school singing competition. After a few stunned seconds, her lips curved into a crescent smile. That's husband singing when he was little. What the hell? This was too eerie. Impossible. Voices change as people grow up. How did she know my childhood voice? I glanced at her delicate features. I had to admit, she was beautiful. With a sigh, I said, a perfectly good campus beauty. How did you become so clingy? Her lips kept moving in a mutter, but I couldn't make out her whisper. Then her voice faded away. She rubbed her head against me. After a while, a sweet smile still lingered on her face. I shook her a few times. She had actually fallen asleep. The next morning, my head hurt more and more. I had to talk to Qinghan's roommates. Unexpectedly, I ran into them on the track, but Qinghan wasn't with them. Before I could speak, the girls started shouting, Bro, our Qinghan definitely won't come looking for you tonight. That claim, if I believed that, pigs would fly. Every time, they said she wouldn't come. Yet clingy Qinghan came every night. Frowning grimly, I couldn't possibly tell them about my illness. They saw that I seemed unhappy and asked, Bro, don't you like our Qinghan? Of course I do. But my condition was rapidly worsening. When I stayed silent for a long while, they became anxious. Bro, you don't really like that Li Ryan, do you? How could she compare to our Qinghan? Why don't you be with our Qinghan? They had no idea what was in my heart. This relationship was impossible to untangle. I never expected them to pile another problem on me. I was torn. I nearly agreed with them. But she was a beautiful, wealthy campus queen. Why would she cling to someone about to die? Wasn't she afraid of what people would say? Their eyes turned evasive, and they suddenly fell silent, as if they were hiding something. No matter how I tried to reason with them, they still said, just be with Qinghan. You won't go wrong if you listen to us. I scratched my head. Why were they saying this? When I returned to my dorm, I found several packages. Then Qinghan messaged me on WeChat. They were clothes she'd sent me. A flicker of suspicion crossed my mind. There might be more to this. I had to investigate. I walked onto the dorm balcony and spotted Qinghan. She was sneaking glances toward the balcony. Our eyes met. She smiled and turned away. Something was definitely going on. That afternoon, I had just returned to the men's dorm when Qinghan appeared in a pink princess dress. A faint perfume hung in the air. We looked at each other, and she covered her mouth with an awkward smile. It felt as if I'd been struck by lightning. She raced toward me like the wind. I raised both hands to stop her. I studied her with suspicious eyes. Qinghan, are you hiding something from me? Her eyes darted away. Then she raised her hand high. I swear to heaven, absolutely not. I applauded her. You sure can act. I was someone about to die. I wasn't much to look at either. Why did she know so many private things about me? Why were her roommates so desperate to set us up? Why are you rambling like that? Just say what's on your mind. I paused. Why are your roommates so desperate to set us up? Then she suddenly came closer. Her red lips pressed against mine. Goosebumps rose all over my body. Closing her eyes, she smiled and said, You've always been my husband. We've only known each other days. How am I already your husband? With that, she pressed herself against me without a care, like she was glued to me. Honestly, I was starting to lose my resolve. When we returned from our day out, it was already past midnight. Lying on the couch, I looked down and patted her. This is my territory. If you climb on me again, or take off your clothes, I'll smack you. Got it? Pouting, she looked pitiful. She climbed off me, then obediently returned to her bed. For a moment, tears welled in my eyes, but my head was hurting more and more. All night, I rested with my eyes closed. Every so often, I looked toward her bed, but I was exhausted. Before I knew it, my eyes fell shut. A faint perfume scent, mixed with a barely noticeable smell of alcohol, washed over me. A soft body pressed against my chest. Then warm, moist lips suddenly lingered on mine. Heat spread through my body. The kiss lasted a long time, accompanied by a soft laugh. I slowly opened my eyes and met those deep, affectionate eyes. The orange-red nightlight glowed softly. Two rosy blushes colored her face. fresh as a lotus rising from water. She looked like an angel from heaven. My heart raced, caught in the act. There was only a trace of panic in her beautiful eyes. Then she smiled shyly again. She turned sideways and looked at me with a seductive gaze. With a smile, she said, "You did not notice last time. Why did you suddenly notice tonight?" The moment I heard that, I bristled. She had been secretly kissing me every night. Qinghan. My face burned with anger. Through gritted teeth, I warned her to get down. Her soft laughter gradually faded, but her arms only held me tighter. My tone hardened. "Get down now." Her choked voice trembled with fear. "I will not." In my mind, she had always been a proud, wealthy beauty. Even before others, she carried herself with cold disdain, looking down on everyone. Why was she so tender and dependent around me? I nearly gave in, but my head hurt more and more. I wanted to tell her about my illness. I said evasively, "My name is Chuan. Are you sure you want someone as broken as me?" Her hot tears fell onto my cheek. Then she murmured, "Chuan, I love you. I love you." Listening to her, we both began to cry. Without realizing it, I held her tightly for the first time. Even if I was about to die tonight, I only wanted to be intimate with her. In the days that followed, we never publicly announced our relationship, but I dared to hold her hand around campus. She would hug me openly every time, and I no longer minded that she was so clingy. We were like a couple deeply in love. After class, we ate together, then held hands as we walked the track. Whenever we had time, we watched movies, went fishing, or sang karaoke. That day, we went swimming at the beach. Afternoon sunlight lazily spilled across the sand. She curled up in my arms like a mischievous kitten. She reached up and tugged at the stubble on my chin. I pretended it hurt. "Ouch, Qinghan, are you trying to murder your husband?" I seized the chance to pull her tightly against me. I tickled her, and she shook with laughter. She squirmed desperately, but could not break free. Suddenly, her eyes lit up. She spotted a loose thread on my shirt collar and reached for it with a wicked grin. I dodged and shouted, "Stop it. This is my best-looking shirt." But she refused to let it go. We rolled into a tangled heap on the sand. When we finally settled down, she leaned against my shoulder and softly said, "You know, you are like my hand warmer in winter and ice cream in summer." I raised an eyebrow. "So I am pretty useful then? You are my very own big silly bear." Laughing, she lightly punched my chest. I caught her hand, brought it to my lips, and gently kissed it. Then we smiled at each other. Sweetness spread through our little corner. Yet our relationship had happened so suddenly. It all felt a little unreal. I did not learn the answer until that day. After class that day, Qinghan stopped me. He said provocatively, "So, you really are dating Qinghan?" Angrily, I shot him a glare. "You are just bitter because you cannot have her," he replied sourly. "She is a campus beauty. Tons of guys like her. Do you know why she got close to you?" Even without Qinghan saying it, I wanted to know. Now, I was basking in Qinghan's tenderness every day. Why did I need to get to the bottom of it? After I sent Qinghan packing, doubts began creeping into my mind. My chest felt tight. So, I went back to that apartment. She had class that day, so she did not come back. Lying in bed, I tapped Qinghan's WeChat profile picture, but I could not type a single word. I had once suspected her of getting close to me for some hidden motive. Qinghan's provocative words kept echoing in my mind. I sighed. I muttered, "My life's worthless anyway. I am lucky Qinghan even cares for me. I should just let it go." I picked up my tablet to play a round of Honor of Kings, but when I turned it on, I froze. Why was it full of old photos of Qinghan and me together? And the man in them looked exactly like me, but I had only known her for a short time. The photos were from all different years. I knew that man could not be me. I exited the album and found a wallpaper that looked like a wedding photo. I felt like I could not breathe. The man who resembled me wore a white suit, kissing Qinghan in a wedding dress. Tears burst from my eyes. So she had been married, because I looked like that man. She had gotten close to me. All along, Chuan had only been a replacement. Heartbroken, I slumped on the floor for a long time. Then I heard knocking outside. Swallowing back my defiant tears, I rushed out the door. The moment I left, I knocked Qinghan over, but I coldly hurried away. That night, Qinghan stood outside my dorm for a long time. She called and messaged me again and again, but I ignored them all. I lay in bed with the blanket over my head, yet I could still hear her shouting, "Chuan, will you come down? I know you are in there. Please, let me explain." A crowd had gathered to watch, but she kept shouting, heedless of everyone. Alone beneath my dark blanket, I cried. Did she love me? I was only a replacement. No matter how she explained, I would not go downstairs. Her voice finally stopped at lights out. I did not sleep all night. My stomach growled with hunger. Early the next morning, I went to the cafeteria for breakfast. When I reached the ground floor, a familiar figure was crouched before the dorm entrance. I never imagined she'd spent the whole night crouched outside the dorm entrance. Her hair was disheveled, and her makeup was smeared. She no longer looked like the cool, aloof campus queen. Looking utterly wretched, she slowly raised her head, her unfocused eyes fixed on me. Chuan. Still furious, I turned to leave. She stood and blocked my path. Qinghan, do you really think this is fun? Trembling, she said hoarsely. Li Chuan. A tear clung to the corner of my eye. My heart felt stabbed by a knife. But I said coldly, maybe you find this amusing, but I do not want to be someone else's replacement. Let's break up. Qinghan's eyes filled with tears. She held me tightly and pleaded, Li Chuan, please do not go. I glared at her fiercely. Do you think that because I am about to die, you can toy with me without consequences? Her pupils suddenly contracted. She stared straight at me, looking shocked and filled with pity. As she clutched her chest in pain, I used all my strength to pry her hands away. I thought she would finally give up on me, but she still waited outside the men's dorm every day until I had to move off campus. Whether she called or her roommates did, I ignored every call until I saw a video while scrolling TikTok. I panicked at once. Campus beauty Qinghan was hit by a cafeteria cart while waiting for a heartless man. In a panic, I called her roommate. She immediately snapped, Pa, our Qinghan suffered because of you. She's in the hospital right now. That night, she did not know I had moved off campus. Yet she still waited outside the men's dorm all night. At dawn, sleepy, she headed back to her dorm. Squinting, she accidentally collided with a cafeteria food delivery cart. I was overwhelmed with guilt. But when I reached her ward, I stopped outside and looked through the window. Many people were gathered around her. Her face was pale, and her head was wrapped in bandages. She looked as though she had aged years. I could not bring myself to step through the door. During the National Day holiday, I returned home, heavy-hearted. Seeing my parents' photos on the wall, I broke down sobbing. I sank into old memories. When I was 6, my parents were taken from me far too soon in a plane crash. They left me a sizable inheritance. That was how I had only managed to drag out this wretched life until now. After a while, I pulled myself from those painful memories, muttering to myself, Mom, Dad, do not worry. I will be with you soon. I looked at their photos. My head still throbbed faintly. Then my phone rang. It was my attending doctor. I had returned home to wait for him to come back to China. After I arrived at the hospital, Dr. Zhang asked curiously, Li Chuan, why are you here alone? I scratched my head. I have always been alone. Was someone else supposed to come? Dr. Zhang frowned. Li Chuan, your tumor is pressing on your brain nerves. Your condition is getting worse. Have you even forgotten her? My mind went blank. He picked up my brain scan. Do you not remember her? The door suddenly flew open. Assistantly saw me and asked, where is Qinghan? What? I was utterly stunned. For a long time, I could not speak. Seeing my shock, he smiled and said, before college, Qinghan accompanied you here for treatment. At first, I did not believe him. But as he and Dr. Zhang spoke, I suddenly wondered how she knew my phone password, where I kept my medication, and could even fill my prescriptions. She even remembered what I sounded like as a child, and shamelessly clung to me. Tears blurred my vision. I realized the man in the tablet's wedding photo was me. My mind was blank. I simply could not remember. Yet amid the fragments of my memory, there had been a blurry image of Qinghan. My head hurt more and more. Then I collapsed in the consultation room. The surgery lasted a full day. At night, many familiar voices sounded beside me. When I slowly opened my eyes, Qinghan held my hand, her eyes brimming with tears. Deputy Dr. Li entered, beaming. Holding my scan, he said with a smile, Li Chuan, the surgery was a complete success. Dr. Zhang went abroad to train specifically for your condition. Your brain tumor has been successfully removed. With a creak, Dr. Zhang entered. Qinghan sobbed as she embraced him. Thank you, Dr. Zhang. Can Li Chuan's memories return? He smiled and nodded gently. Taking Qinghan's hand, he said, a doctor cares for patients as a parent would, but Li Chuan has had you caring for him all these years. I looked sharply at Qinghan and my classmates. Suddenly, countless memories rushed into my mind. Before college, Qinghan accompanied me to the hospital for a checkup. I suddenly collapsed. Deputy Dr. Li said, the tumor is pressing on his brain nerves. He may lose his memory. Then Qinghan held me, tears in her eyes, and said, as long as you live, it does not matter if you forget everything. Even if you lose your memory, Qinghan, will make you fall in love with me again. In the days that followed, my tumor kept growing. Treatment options in China were limited. Even many hospitals abroad would not take my case. If they operated on my tumor, my life would be at risk. My condition gradually worsened. I began selectively forgetting the people and things around me. The pain also meant I needed frequent painkillers. After we started college, she quietly kept watch over me to help me regain my memories. Qinghan began creating chances for us to meet. Otherwise, why would an aloof campus queen become such a clingy nuisance? She asked her roommates, mine, and Kinshu, as well as our homeroom teacher, to help her. I remembered their efforts during that first month of school. I had almost remembered her then. But after military training, I fell ill again. I had no choice but to be treated at a hospital near campus. But its medical resources were limited. Thankfully, Qinghan got in touch with Deputy Dr. Li, and that saved my life. During that time, because of the tumor, my memories kept coming NGÓN. Whenever my memories returned, I would forget again days later. Qinghan and the others patiently helped me recover them. Our first meeting was after the freshman orientation ceremony. At an open-air food stall near campus, she clung to me, and then Liu Ryan fought with her. No wonder Qinghan was so hostile toward Liu Ryan at that farmhouse retreat, and Liu Ryan had always treated them as enemies. To restore my memories, she tirelessly played the part of my clingy nuisance. But they failed 7 times. By the military training closing ceremony, it was their 8th attempt. To deepen my memories, they decided to post our story on TikTok. That is how a new TikTok catchphrase was born. Husband, love me. Don't leave. Chuan, a familiar, excited voice reached my ears. My tears soaked a slender, warm hand. I gazed at her with all my heart. Qinghan, you've been through so much. Tears blurred my vision. Before me was Qinghan, my childhood sweetheart of many years. When she knew I had regained my memory, she threw herself into my arms, tears streaming down her face. Then we both sobbed our hearts out. She called my name in tearful disbelief. Chuan, with reddened eyes, she hugged me even tighter. I could feel her body trembling. Tears welled in her eyes. She pounded my chest with her hand. It is all your fault I became so clingy. She paused, then cried even harder. I stroked her hair and comforted her. Be good, my little Qinghan. Do not cry. Say that again, and I will kill you. She hammered my chest with both fists. I gently wiped the tears from her cheeks. Then I teased her through a laugh. Qinghan, with acting like yours, if you do not enter show business, our country would be deprived of a future Oscar-winning Best Actress. Laughter filled the room around my bed. Everyone joined in. Chuan, I am the real best actor. I shot Gao Yuan an angry look. You were the one in the dorm who kept building up that image of Qinghan for me. Gao Yuan hurriedly protested. Chuan, Qinghan is already an aloof, beautiful, wealthy campus queen. Why would I need to make that up? If you do not want her, give her to me. A flicker of anger rose in me. I tried to get up, but my wound hurt. A brother's wife is off limits. Qinghan smiled and soothed me. Enough. You are too gullible. Yet you blame everyone else. Gao Yuan was only joking. I felt a little frustrated, but smiled instead and said, at first, I never questioned why you insisted on sleeping glued to me every night, or why your roommates kept encouraging it. Qinghan and her roommates burst out laughing. I felt utterly embarrassed. Then I gritted my teeth and glared fiercely at Qinghan's fake boyfriend, and at Qinghan as she snickered. Yang's you really are something. That photo of you and Qinghan together. The look you gave me as we passed each other. And that perfectly timed body language. That is Oscar-worthy acting. After I left the hospital, I went back for a follow-up exam. Dr. Zhang said the cancer cells in my tumor had disappeared on their own. Qinghan and I interlaced our fingers. When she turned to look at me, her radiant smile was like flowers blooming everywhere. I pulled her tightly against me by the waist and kissed her fiercely. She pressed a hand to my chest. Her face flushed red as she glanced at Dr. Zhang. We have company. The doctor pretended not to see. Laughter came from behind the closing door. I did not see a thing. We kissed wildly, forgetting everything else. We nearly ran out of breath. Only then did we reluctantly pull apart. Her beautiful, star-like eyes lifted to mine as she said, Chuan, let us get married. We had already taken our wedding photos. We had promised to marry once we got to college. But before school began, my condition worsened. We went to a Taoist temple in the mountains, where the Taoist priest chose an auspicious wedding date. We brought many gifts for her parents. I feared they would reject me for being an orphan who had been seriously ill. But her parents did not reject me. Our families had been old friends for generations. It was only after my parents died in a plane crash that I had less contact with her parents. From elementary school onward, Qinghan cared for me in every possible way. Before the wedding, we visited our parents' graves. Holding Qinghan's hand, I said, your son is getting married. Qinghan laid lilies before the graves and said, Mom, Dad, Chuan, and I will stand by each other through everything. No matter what happens, he and I will grow old together. On the night our friends came to tease us in the bridal suite, Yang's Yu burst into the room. Through gritted teeth, he said to me, Chuan, you have no conscience. I play the aloof supporting guy 8 times, and you nearly beat me up, yet you would not even let me be your best man. Gao Yuan scolded Qinghan from beside him. You are heartless too. Now you are getting married, yet you did not even send me an invitation. Big brother is still the best. If not for Chuan, I would have missed the wedding feast. Liu Ryan looked at me, her eyes red, and said, Chuan, I like you, but your story moved me. That is why I chose to let you be together. So Liu Ryan had loved me deeply all along. But she realized that even if I lost my memory, I would still fall in love with Qinghan. A love so moving comes once in 1,000 years. She simply could not bear to tear Qinghan and me apart again. The wedding left us completely exhausted. That night, warm orange lights glowed in our bridal suite. We were both flushed from drinking. I held the sexy, enchanting Qinghan tightly. But my eyes suddenly filled with tears. Qinghan, for this day. How much pain have you endured? How many times did I reject you? How many nights did you spend crouched outside the men's dormitory? As I spoke, I could not go on. I shook with sobs, as though my chest had seized shut. All for me. She had willingly let me tear her heart apart again and again. What a painfully devastating realization. In the end, I choked back a sob. Gu Qinghan brushed the tears from my cheeks. You big silly bear. I am the one who was hurt. Why are you crying? I closed my eyes and kissed her desperately. I never wanted to stop